All right. Okay. I didn't even know you could do it from your end. All right. I'm going to just shoot it across into the Facebook group.
What happens there? Does that mean that they listening in, talking like as normal Zoom group, or is it just you and me and they're listening in?
Just you and me, and they're watching it live. And it also records into the Facebook group, which is very handy because then it's there for people to watch on replay who can't make it live.
Yeah, yeah.
I can tell you, I can send, if you want to know how to do it, I can send you a little voice message after this because it's awesome. Once I discovered I could do it, I was like, I'm doing this all the time.
Yeah, it sounds like a really cool, not sneaky, but like a really cool trick, right? It's like, yeah, just get the technology to do what it does best.
Yeah, and then I can see the comments in the Facebook group, so I'll pop that up too. I'll just make sure.
Gosh, you must have like 5 screens going on there.
I have 2. I have 2 screens, so I'll just wait. Okay, I think we are live. Cool, awesome. Hello, lovely Claire. We're now just going live into the Little Psychic School. I am just going to open up the little video. Ooh, sorry, feedback. So that I can see if there's any other comments that are coming up. But thank you so much for being here, Claire. I'm so excited to have you.
Hey, June. Hey, everybody. I'm excited to talk manifesting.
Yay, I'm excited to know about manifesting. So it works out really well. I can see a couple of people on live. If you're on live, make sure you say hello, post up if you have any questions. Even though we've got a lot of questions from people already. Hi, Megan. Hi, Cheryl. Claire, first of all, did you want to start out by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about what it is that you do?
That's a big question. So, hey everybody, I'm Claire. I'm an NLP trainer, an NLP coach, and what that means is that I work with people to be seen, heard, and valued, specifically in their businesses. I love to work with people who are like in the wellness professional industry, in the energy industry, people who are already on that path to understanding how powerful everybody is when you get in touch with your intuition and getting in touch with your purpose to play with the energy and to bring those amazing gifts to this world. So in a nutshell, that's what I do.
Yeah, that was a really good intro though. I love that. Hi, Sarah. I can see Sarah's on live as well. But so what it is that we're talking about today, it was manifesting. And I actually don't scroll Facebook or Instagram that much. I normally just use it to post, but a lot of your videos obviously were coming up. I'd been told about you and I absolutely loved your videos on manifesting. I know you talk about lots of different things, but I was like, I need to know more about this. And I feel like people in the Little Psychic School or this group absolutely always want to know about it. And it's not my area of expertise. So I just wanted to know, how did you fall into knowing so much about this? Is it something that you got from spirit or from learning from other mentors, or all of the above?
All of the above. I guess you'd say that I'm a natural born medium. So I was naturally aware of energy to begin with. And getting to high school age and realizing not everybody's in touch with their guides or, in touch with the energy that's around them, that was actually a really big shock to me. So that put me onto a bit of a path to understand not why am I special, but what is going on here? Because back then, watches would go backwards on me. I would have all sorts of phenomenon going on with spirit. I used to have a sensitivity to electricity. And so that put me on the path to understand my quantum journey, why I'm here, what's with the gifts, and to be able to help people, grow on that. There's a chapter of my life that is not so pleasant where I fell into domestic violence. And with that, long story short, my children and I, we ended up being homeless and carless and relying on food banks. And so that was when I really leaned into hypnotherapy and coaches and healers to understand that path. Overall, it sounds like my soul had come in to experience what it's like to have your power taken away, to know how important it is to step into your power and to be able to teach that. And so shortly after being homeless and living in a caravan with my daughters, I was able to clear away all of the victimy kind of energy, the heaviness, all of the limiting beliefs. And within a very short time, I was able to manifest my home without a bank, manifest a car without the bank, and then be able to teach other people how to do it. So I'm really, really proud of my story,
Yeah,
but
you should be.
it comes with a bit of a hold back the tears kind of intro, June.
Yeah, no, but that's really, really inspiring for others to hear as well. And I think there's actually lots of people in this group, not undermining obviously your experiences, but have come from, you know, this type of traumatic experiences really, which have led them into the healing and wanting to help to heal other people. So their own healing journey first. So it is really inspiring to hear where you can be. And also
all healers are deliberately walking a very dark path before they can step into the light. That's part of the earth school and the polarity here, and experiencing the negativity to know how important it is to raise your frequency. So sorry to cut you off there, but
no, that's okay.
All healers are on that, I think we all put our hand up, all done the dark path.
Yeah.
This lifetime or another.
Yes. And it's really interesting to hear about the electrical stuff too, because I was actually talking about this with somebody else just recently in the group, and she's like, is this a thing that happens to people? And I was like, it is a thing that happens to people. So I love that you've just shared that experience too, because that will be great for her to hear. Because
she wants to Google it. It's called electromagnetic hypersensitivity, if you need the fancy word.
So interesting. I'll have to tag her in this afterwards, because I will definitely go down that rabbit hole as well. For those, most of the people that I think that are watching are probably at the more earlier end of their manifesting journey. What would you say is probably the easiest way to explain exactly what it is? Like, because we hear a lot about it, and especially right now, it seems to be like everyone's talking about manifesting, but a lot of people go to me, June, like, what is it? What is manifesting? I kind of know what it is, but not really. It'd be nice to hear your explanation of it.
Yeah, mine is about 2 sentences long. For me, manifesting is to prepare your mind, your body, and your soul for the rich life that your intuition is driving you towards. That's as simple as manifesting is. It's to prepare, it's a journey. It's to prepare yourself for what your intuition is pulling you towards.
Yeah, okay. I feel like I need to write that down because I feel like mine is much longer winded when I try to explain it to people.
If I break that down, everybody has come in with their innate intuition. That's what you teach. You're born with that pure intuition. However, growing up, you have all of the, your mum and dad's beliefs, and then putting the identities of who you are, what's your religion. And so that's when that ego is formed. The ego is formed to be able to keep yourself connected to the tribe, so it will hold on to those beliefs. But if you're born, let's say, as a metaphor, to be in the spotlight, to be on the stage, your intuition knows that, and it will pull you towards those opportunities. And it's about doing that inner work to clear away how the ego stops you from being on stage, claiming the spotlight, doing what you're born to do. And so that's the journey of manifestation, is to do what your intuition is pulling you towards.
Yes, and it requires a lot of work along the way. That's why it doesn't just show up. Well, it can just show up, but there's a lot of work you got to go through, I guess, to get to it. And that's where some of the questions that actually were quite similar from a few people were, first of all, how long should you spend each day on actual manifesting? What you should be focusing on, and what are some really great exercises? I know this is like 3 questions in one. Exercises or practices that you could be doing to actually manifest what it is that you want.
I've got dyslexia, so I've just forgotten the first question. I need them one at a time, June.
Sorry. Okay, let's start with, I guess, what are the best exercises or practices that you can do to help you manifest what it is that you want?
Okay, so everybody needs to be aware that you are manifesting all the time. You are manifesting as you're listening this, you're manifesting as you're driving, you're manifesting as you're doing the dishes, you're manifesting when you meditate. I don't meditate. My form of meditation is like to mow the lawns and tune the children out, and to just be in that Zen kind of space. So you've got to know that you are manifesting all the time. When you get caught up in triggers and negativity, other people's drama, that you're actually manifesting that as well. And the longer that you stay in that drama, the more that the universe is inclusive, the more that it will send to you. So if you're somebody who's focused on the debt, the debt, the debt, the universe is going to hear that pulse and cool, let's send her more debt. Versus if you can change your mindset and recognize, okay, I'm going to, pay off the commitment. Even can you feel the difference, June, between the word debt and commitment, and how even my shoulders sort of go back like, yeah, cool, let's pay off that commitment. So all of these tricks that you can do within your mindset to be aware of when you get pulled down into the lower frequencies of the fear, the limitations. That's one thing, that's one part of manifestation. The second part of manifestation, if we're saying that you want to deliberately manifest a thriving business, there are some steps to do with that in itself. So let's say that you're a naturopath and you want to manifest a thriving business within the naturopathy world. What you want to do is actually check in with that feminine portal, that heart space, about the possibilities, like where that could be, what that could look like, and just to play in that intuitive energy of what's possible from your blueprint and your higher self. Then you take that energy, once you've done that, then you take that energy up to your mind, and that's that masculine how to be in this world. And only then will you put the ideas and the steps in place. The third step with manifesting is then to drop that into your gut. It's like that solar plexus energy center. Yeah. Is it time to action it, or is it time to step back? And so that's our ultimately, if you're manifesting something, a really beautiful, flowy kind of way to manifest: heart space, mind, gut. But people go, okay, I want my naturopath business. How am I going to do it? The figures, da 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 da. Yeah. And they've pretty much gone into hustle mode. Wow, their energy's gone down. Okay, now we're focused on debt. So I'm talking a million miles an hour there, June, but is that making sense?
100%. And I love exactly how you explained it. I was going to write it down, that I didn't want to be distracted. So I feel like I'll come back and watch it on a replay and write it down again, because I love how you explain that. It makes perfect sense. Is there a certain amount of time? I know you said like we are technically manifesting all the time, and I have heard that before, but I feel like that's the first time it's actually really dropped in for me. You know how you have to hear something sometimes a few times before it actually makes sense. It's so true. Is there a certain amount of time that you suggest, you know, how you said, you know, sitting with it and sort of having it in your heart space and moving it up here, then moving it down here? Is there a certain amount of time we should be doing this each day, or a week, or is that putting too much thought into it, like you said, not to do?
Timing is an interesting question. Not to go into your privacy, but is there a thing that you're manifesting, June?
Oh gosh, and this is probably where it gets confusing, because yes, there's quite a few things I'm trying to manifest. I am at the moment, probably the biggest thing would be to draw in more clients into my soulmate clients into the program, the new program that I've just started running, which I found a new way to run it, basically, that I'm not continually putting out the same information again and again. Anyway, just draw more clients into this particular thing is probably, let's round it into a nutshell as well.
Yeah. I've got a whole YouTube video on how to manifest clients. That one is actually quite easy, and people make it way too complicated. So is it okay to use that as an example in 100%. Front of your group?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And there's a lot of small business owners in here, or people who want to start. So this is actually perfect for them too.
So, okay, so let's say that we're manifesting in like five more clients a week, or whatever the numbers are. The numbers are irrelevant to me, but let's just say it's like, yeah, that's what I want. You have to first be aware that there is something that is holding you back from actually receiving that. It's not here yet. So there has to be a block. Now you can go do I say it with love, you can go do human coaching and consistently post every day and but ultimately the manifesting journey comes with you. Your business is an extension of you, and your unconscious mind and your ego is going to do everything it can to protect you from what it has perceived as a threat. I'm going off on a tangent, so bring me back, June. But let's say somebody has claustrophobia, they've got a fear of anxiety being in a small space. When you take them, and it's getting in the way of being at work, like getting in the small space, the elevator, panic attacks, when you take them back to being like 5 years old and you recognize that they've been bullied and locked in a cupboard, the unconscious mind says, never again will I be in a small space. And so what it does is it generates anxiety and panic to make sure that you're safe. Now, logically, that doesn't make sense. It's like, well, you're getting in the way of my livelihood. The unconscious mind wants to keep you in survival, like whatever's kept you to survive, that's what it wants to do. With hypnotherapy and NLP, we can go back and recognize that it wasn't the small space that was the problem. It was the lack of adult supervision, the lack of communication, all sorts of things. And when the unconscious mind gets that, it will let go of that claustrophobia and that anxiety within 1 or 2 sessions.
Wow.
That powerful. So how does that come back to clients? Well, if you've got any kind of limitation from the past, and the naturopath is the best one because I think it's the most relatable for a group like this. If you're a naturopath and you've got these amazing herbs and you want the world to know about it, and it's not happening for you, 9 times out of 10, you've got a past life where you were hung as a witch. And again, that cellular memory says, never again will I sell these herbs to people that could hurt me, cause threat, cause harm. And so again, using hypnotherapy, you can go back and do that past life, clear that resistance, which just means like to take the charge out of it. It's like, okay, unconscious mind, you're not there anymore. You're now in 2023. And so once that is out of the auric field, the energy field, she is now showing up with so much more passion, excitement, excited to be out there. There's no more limitations of like, oh, what will people say? Will they judge me? That's out of the way. And the people who are drawn to that kind of energy healing are like, wow, like look at her sparkle. I want what she's having. So a lot of the times when people say like that original question, I remembered, how long does it take? I've known people to turn around their businesses within 1 or 2 of my sessions, literally gone from complete debt to 6 figures. And I'm not going to promote that on my website, but it is absolutely possible to turn things around really quickly. But you've just got to get out of your own way. So if you were manifesting just by yourself, there's the vision wall, there's the journaling, there's the self-inquiry, there's the looking at, what's the worst thing about having 5 more clients and exploring why you would hold yourself back. But ultimately, it's so much more potent working with someone else who can see outside the box that you've put yourself in.
So really, I guess it's about I used to always think it's sort of about, well, people know what it is they have to do, but they're just not doing it. And it would get frustrating because I'm like, well, you know what you have to do, but you're just not doing it. But it's not getting to the root cause of which is why they actually are not doing it, is because there's something that goes further back, which they need to poke at to get past.
And that's the unconscious stuff that I've had clients where, again, coaching businesses, and they can't work out, why is it not working? I took a client back to the resistance, which was he was adopted, and somehow in that 10 seconds of being handed over to people that weren't his tribe, he had said to himself, people don't want me. And so it was that story that had continued into his adult life. We cleared that, June, and within a week, his wife phoned me and said, undo it, he's too busy.
I love that. Oh, that's so good.
So we can journal, we can do the meditations and things, and it'll still work for you. But I get impatient, June. I want it tomorrow.
I think a lot of people do. And that was my next thing. My next question, which ties in with that, I suppose, is someone asked, does it always have to be a formal practice? You mentioned, the journaling, the writing down. What was the other thing you said? Visualizing, vision boards.
Vision wall, but I have a vision wall. My poor husband in our bedroom, it's like there's that whole wall, David, we're doing that holiday and that renovation. And so And inside the breakfast pantry, the girls have their vision wall. Mama want to experience this or do that. So there's always that in the mind or in our awareness, so that our unconscious mind looks for opportunities to create that.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't have to be, basically, is the answer. You don't have to have those things to manifest.
No, but again, let me just take it onto a negative path for a second.
Mm-hmm.
If you think, because we're manifesting all the time, I knew from being in that toxic relationship that he would go on the roads, and he was such an angry man. He would attract in the road rage, every kind of scenario you can think of. And yet I would drive on those exact same roads 10 minutes later, and it would be driving with Miss Daisy. You know, it was all calm, happy, yeah, neighbours. So we are manifesting all the time. So if you're finding yourself like in a traffic jam and you're getting frustrated, that's when it's sort of like, breathe, check in with yourself. What's going on? What's it really mean for you? So there's no real formal process on that, but it's being aware in those moments when triggers come up. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And really good answer. Hi, Liz. Hi, Rhonda. I've had a couple of other people just pop on live. The other question I had, that someone had, which I thought was a good question, is the difference between manifesting small things and big things. Is there a formal difference? They wanted to know. No,
there's
okay.
I was just on a holiday with my daughter. She was holding about lots of different lollies, and I said to her, gosh, you know, all we need right now is like a rubber band or a piece of ribbon. And she went and sat on a bench, and there was a rubber band, and I was like, darling.
Oh, yeah, that's so cool.
So I guess you'd say that, yeah, there's a bit more work to like manifest a rubber band versus a car.
Yes.
But the process to manifest the rubber band is the exact same one as the car. There's a lot more limitation in people's thinking, like, you know, because they've got dad's ideas about money, mum's like, what will people think, all of that stuff that has to be worked through. But manifesting a car, it's like identifying, you know, you want that black 4-wheel drive as an example. And I would say to a client, well, what does that mean to you, that black 4-wheel drive? Does it mean power? Does it mean security? What does it mean to you? And then you want to check in with yourself about where in your life are you not feeling powerful? Where in your life are you not feeling secure? And go and do the work on that. And then you become an energetic vibrational match for that power, the thing that you think is powerful, to match up and come in. The thing with manifesting a car, and I've done it several times, is you get to the car dealer, like, yeah, okay, thank you. Like, you think that you'd be like,
yes,
but you've done so much work on rehearsing the on road moments at 10 o'clock at night that you get there like, oh yeah, this is meant to be, thank you.
When it finally comes in, you're like not as psyched as you thought you were going to be. Yeah, that's so true. Liz, you may have already mentioned this. I'm guessing there's a rest of the question coming. I'll wait till she comes up with that, unless I'm missing something. Sorry, Liz. The other thing that someone wanted to know, okay, so I'll explain the whole question. So it was actually Liz who said, when I'm trying to manifest, I project love and success to my future self and imagine with what I'm trying to manifest. The problem is I overthink and I wonder, how do I get to this particular thing? Am I supposed to be manifesting all the steps at the same time as well? Which sounds very overwhelming. Yes, what's your answer to that question?
Two things that go back to, yes, Liz, we kind of answered that earlier about going into the heart space to be open to what's possible and checking in with your higher self. The minute that you start to go into, so with manifesting, you actually don't ever want to attach to the how. What you want to attach to is the experience. Like, I want 5 clients and I'm going to put out this post and they're going to respond. They're like, no, those 5 clients could come in because you got your hair done and you were listening and blah, blah, blah. Like, don't limit how the manifestation can come in. But you still need to be proactive with taking those steps with the how. again, talking to another client who's a wrong one, a Reiki practitioner, and and she was like, she was stuck in the how and the mental, and Claire, and like my husband, and he wants me to get the numbers in, and it was this white knuckle kind of feeling, and I was like, we need to take away your people pleasing and the expectations and all of that. And once we did that, she's just like in flow with spirit, and she's getting this idea and this idea, and she's just in that Moorish flow where there's no willpower or effort. There's still action, but no willpower. So did that answer that question, Liz or June?
Yeah, I think so. I think a way that maybe I thought Spirit explained it to me, but I'm speaking on very simple terms. So correct me if this is wrong or not, but this is kind of my understanding, was that they will give you like you tell them what you want to manifest, and they'll give you each step one at a time. That's generally how it works for me, but then you do have to action that actual step. But I think when I'm trying to manifest, I don't usually concentrate on the how. That just sort of comes in.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think it depends on, in NLP, we call it a meta program. It depends on how you're wired. So some people's guides will give you the full big picture, and you kind of have to reverse engineer what it means to
I need
to
the simpleton version. I'm a simpleton,
And then some people's guides know that their person is prone to overwhelm, so it's just one. But on my YouTube channel, there's a quantum jump or a future timeline. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll give you the link because it's free.
Yes, please.
Is to actually go do a quantum jump and jump to a timeline where you've already achieved that success. Cool. And go and get the insights and the visuals to what the difference is in that bubble of reality versus now. There's a client example. She did that process, and we did it one-on-one, so it was a lot more involved. But she did a quantum jump to the investment portfolio la-di-da business that she wanted. And she came back, she said, well, that's cool, but now what? And I said, did you notice that in that quantum jump you were wearing a dress? And she was like, oh, wow. She said, I thought I'd been making myself masculine, buying the suits, showing up to fit in with the boys club. And I said, your quantum jump has just said that you were so much more powerful in your feminine, hold on to that. And about a year later, I got goosebumps because she not like I'm surprised about it, she manifested that. She's still wearing the dresses and the heels, and the boys get out of the way versus dominating her. So it's little things like that in a quantum jump to recognize. They're subtle, right, June, but it's powerful.
That's so cool. Yes, please, if you can share that link with us afterwards, that would be amazing. Liz is also asking, can you manifest multiple things at once?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'm manifesting the good coffee in the morning, and I'm also manifesting the fun clients for the day, and I'm manifesting the fun podcasts, and I'm manifesting the holiday, and I'm manifesting new floors because the dogs have ripped up our current floorboard. Like there's I don't know how many things I've just listed there, but
yeah. My husband owns a coffee van, just by the way, if you're trying to manifest good coffee. Just thought I'd let you know
where he is.
HQ coffee van in Wonga Park. But Paynes Road. But anyway, that's off topic. I'll talk to you about that later if you want to know. Shannon said, I got a client who happened to sit next to me at the hairdresser last week. So that's a really cool example of manifesting. And I'm at the hair salon now and have now a new client. So my hairdresser, so that's somebody else who's at the hairdresser right now. That's so cool. Which is Liz. That's awesome. So, and I think someone asked about success stories, but I feel like you've mentioned probably about 4 of them during this.
I know, I got some really good success stories. If you want to hear what's possible, like just the one recent one, which
go for it.
I had a particular client, mum of 6. I won't give away her confidentiality, but June, mum of 6, like, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Anyway, I've got 4 daughters, so that's why like, oh.
Yes. 4's a lot. 6, I know.
When she came to me, she was overwhelmed by life, feeling stuck, couldn't afford a holiday, all of that stuff. What we discovered was that her history had said that dad was a gambler. in her childhood, and he lost the family home. So in her unconscious mind had said, like, owning a home is risky. It causes hurt. It causes all sorts of things. So there was this tense energy that owning your own home meant yuck, right?
Yeah.
Once we cleared that, I'm not kidding, once we cleared that, the hurt and the pain and what it means, because it doesn't mean anything. It just means he was a gambler. They lost the home. But in her mind, it had all of these elaborate overlays. Once we cleared that, she was feeling really uplifted. I was like, please go and find a way to invest in being able to own your own home, since your intuition is pulling you towards creating that. Do that for yourself. Do that for your children. Hence why I like point out that she had 6. Go and create that security for them. She went to her husband and like Claire said, I love that, I'm just joking, but Claire said, like, it's time that we actually speak to a financial advisor. It's time that we invest in this. And within a week, he was such a beautiful man that he respected her wishes. He recognized her trigger points. Don't go there. But he had managed to, he was in the trade industry. So he had managed to sell all sorts of equipment. They raised their price. Within a week, June, they had $1 million at their discretion to go and buy a house, buy a car. They're taking their kids to Europe because she got out of her own way.
Wow. I have goosebumps everywhere. That's crazy.
And again, I'm not advertising that on my website, but clearing that limitation within a week has completely changed 6 little babies' worlds and their future. And so, yeah, I like that. Again, not advertising that kind of, but I do expect when I work with someone, I've had clients manifest 5 grand overnight, 10 grand overnight from doing a past life or whatever, or even 100 grand, extending their businesses out to multiple franchise kind of scenarios. Guys, don't hold yourself back. Yeah, all of those limitations mostly come from your parents, your grandparents, and the thing is, those beliefs aren't even yours, and yet they hold us back. So I'm getting all passionate, but
no, that's good. I love it. Everyone's saying this is, people are loving it. Sarah says, I find your story so inspiring. Liz is saying amazing to the story that you just shared. So thank you for sharing that. I love hearing the real life, the real life stuff. If anyone has any other questions as well, by the way, feel free to pop them up quickly. I think, there was only one other question that I had, which was for the people a little bit further along, I think, if that's okay. Is that all right with you, Claire? Yep. In terms of the, a little bit further along in terms of manifesting, what are people talking about when they're talking about manifesting in the quantum? What does that actually mean?
Let me backtrack a little bit. It's a quick question, but it's a bit of an answer. Before we come to Earth, we are all part of a soul family. That doesn't necessarily mean blood related, but we're pretty much at that soul contract table before we come to Earth. And people will put their hand up and say, I want to come in and learn about patience. And then, you know, your guides, people in your life will come in and create a soul contract, and they'll teach you patience through impatience. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
So they'll push your buttons until you learn about patience or love or empowerment or abundance. Insert your thing. So knowing this, knowing that Earth's a school, knowing that we're coming here to learn, we could talk about the quantum of Earth, but that's a whole nother podcast. The thing is, you have to ask yourself, so if we're souls that have come into Earth, where were we before Earth? And there's only a very small percentage of souls who actually start their soul's journey on Earth. Most of us are star seeds, which means that we've come from Pleiades, Orion, Sirius, you know, you name it. And so
Mintaken.
yeah. And so if you know what your pure natural gifts are from other worlds, then you can better understand what your purpose is. Somebody like John Lennon from the Beatles came in from a world where they would bring in sound vibrational healing, which is quite common to us. But the powers that be meant that when John Lennon sang, he could activate people's DNA and raise their frequency and help them manifest what they wanted through his sound, through his voice. That's what made him really powerful. So sometimes when you're a healer and you're like, well, should I work with crystals? Should I do this? Should I do that? And you're in that should spiral and the confusion and the stuckness. Sometimes what you can do is a quantum journey to go back to your quantum reality where you came before Earth, and you can have a conversation with your soul family, your tribe, to better understand what you're supposed to do here on Earth. Now, you can also close soul contracts, and you can write up new contracts. We can also get rid of guides who are no longer working in your best interest. We can do all sorts of stuff. And basically, when you clear a block in the quantum, close a soul contract in the quantum, say basically like which I had done actually, I'd said like, I've actually had enough of helping people raise their frequency from anxiety. I've had enough of that. And they said, cool, okay, we'll write up a new soul contract. And it was like, I want to help people, be seen, heard, and valued in the wellness professionals. I want to help people who are already doing this. So I told you it was a long story, but basically when you do the past lifey kind of work in the quantum, the ripple effect of your spiritual development and your business and everything shifts so fast. So there's not really one sort of quick explanation for quantum manifesting, but it's going into the quantum to discover where the limitations are. Hence the electromagnetic hypersensitivity, that person. That's where you need to go quantum to solve that, and you can solve it.
Oh, because I said to her, I don't think there's anything you can do. So you've literally just answered that question. There is.
Yeah, I used to have, anyway, and in long story short, I couldn't go to a shopping center because of people's mobile phones. I would walk in and like with the radios, and I would shut down Coles checkout and come
she
back
literally just told me that she shut down the checkout at Coles, and she had to step away from it, and then it started working. Yeah.
In a nutshell, that tells us that she's from a particular world where they're keeping track of her from that world, and we need to be able to put some energy protection and do all sorts of fancy stuff. I went for 10 years looking for the answer on that, and the hypnotherapist solved it within 3 sessions. So once you know what you're doing, it's awesome.
Cool. Well, that comes to my last question. Unless you had anything that you wanted to add in that you haven't touched on today.
No, I think we've been quite thorough. I know that we've hit on dot points and I haven't gone into specifics, but hopefully that starts to excite everybody's intuition, like, ooh, what's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel excited. I feel like I can't wait to go to your website and see what you've got to offer. That's what I wanted to ask. So where do we find you? First of all, Instagram, I already did post your links and everything in the group, but just if they can't be bothered looking at the written version, where do we find you?
Yeah, so there is actually, and I've just released it earlier this year, so it's just good timing. I happen to be holding the book in front of me. So on the website, there is the Hello Happy Money course, and you get the 50-page book that has all of the processes and the explanation. So that's in the course section. There's also the link for past lives and other things. If you go onto my website, it's a library of resources anyway. So yeah, you can get really sucked into that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I think I will later.
But yeah, I'm planning on facilitating another manifesting group soon. The date hasn't been set. I'm planning on facilitating past life regression to teach you to be able to do it for other people. There's all sorts of things that the team has said that is on the schedule. So I'm busy in the background creating all of that.
Is that QHHT, Claire, or different?
No, the QHHT, I've been trained within Dolores Cannon style. I've been trained within the Peter Smith style. I'm a little bit of a rebel, and I don't like the regulated rules that they put on you and what you can and can't do. And people have to do 12 hours of practice before.
Yes.
June, we could go for a drive and I could help you access past life quantum stuff just by talking. You do not need to anyway. So
I love that.
So it's so anyway, so yes, we can play, but it's not necessarily QHHT.
And what is your website? Sorry, what's the actual website address?
Oh, my name, clairechancellor.com.au. That was made
Easy.
many years ago before I knew to name it my actual business name. So it is
Is
what it
it
is.
CHANCELOR or double L?
Double L.
Okay, cool. .com.au.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Just writing it down. If there's, and you're also, it's on Instagram. What was your handle again?
That'll be your purpose.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And then I was like, I'm scared I'm going to stuff it up. So I'll just let you do it. Be Your Purpose on Instagram. And yeah, if there's nothing else that anyone had to ask, thank you so much, Claire and June. This has been a real learning session. Can't wait to watch it again on replay. If you had nothing else to add in, thank you. Yeah, was there anything else you wanted to speak about yourself? Because now is the time.
No, mostly just to let everybody know, like, if you're into it, if you've got that desire, it's there for a reason. Your intuition is pulling you towards that. Shift the doubt, shift the fear, shift the judgment, just absolutely go for it, because things can change really, really quickly. Yeah, I do encourage you to check out my YouTube. That's where people can just listen and get to know me. And yeah, and then there is the manifesting course. But I'm sure I'll reach out to June to let everybody know when the manifesting course is coming up, and that's where we
Yes,
do a whole
please.
3-month intensive, and we get to play. The last group I ran, a few people actually manifested over 6 figures in their business, and I was like, that's good stuff.
Yes, that's really good stuff. And I'm so silly. It says down the bottom, Claire Chancellor, Be Your Purpose. Oh my gosh.
No,
And I'm like,
June,
oh,
you're not silly.
it's like right there.
No, Liz will tell you. I just changed that when you asked me about the spelling. Liz will tell you. She's
my
onto it.
gosh. Oh, that's so funny. Megan, enjoyed it so much. Thank you. And Rhonda says amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you both. Thank you so much. It's been absolutely amazing. I loved this. I will actually watch it back on replay too, so I can come into the all the points. But I really appreciate you taking the time, because I know your time is precious. So thank you so much for doing this. I'm super, super grateful.
Yeah, I'm super grateful. I love connecting with like-minded souls. So I'll talk to you all soon. I know we'll see each other on Instagram or something.
Yes, you'll have a few new stalkers. It's going to be great. Shannon says, love this. Thank you.
Thank you, June.
Thank you. See you later. Have a great day. And everybody else too. Bye.